evening. How's everybody doing? Good. Nice to see everybody. So COVID happened, and I turned 50. My bucket list wish was to get on stage and try stand-up comedy. So I enrolled in school in Boston. I told my mother I'm going back to school, and I said she thought I was going to get my doctorate. I'm like, fuck that. I enrolled in Lafayette University. I might as well have told my mother I was enrolling in clown college. So let's give a big hand for my mother. She's not fucking here. She's not fucking here. She wants me to be a fucking doctor. It's not happening. So my day job, I am an assistant principal at an elementary school in Massachusetts. And I gotta say right now, I'm gonna drop the fucking F-bomb a lot because I cannot talk like that in school. And I've done a number of shows, and I was in the cafeteria the other day, and I had a little girl come up to me, and she's like, Mr. Thomas, my mom saw your comedy show. I'm like, fantastic, that's great. She said, Mr. Thomas, my mom says you swear. I'm like, no, I don't swear. Mr. Thomas does not swear. She goes, my mom says you swear. My mom says you swear. I'm like, sit the fuck down. Sit the fuck down. I'm getting old. You know, I went to school, an elementary school, at a two-room. You all right? All right. That's alcohol abuse right there. I went to school, a two-room schoolhouse, and it was kind of like Little House on the Prairie. And back then, if you did something wrong, they fucking really punished you. Now today, if a kid does something wrong, I can't do shit. We have to do collaborative problem solving, or restorative justice, or conflict resolution. Back in the day, fuck that. Back in the day, if you fucked up, I had Mrs. Matthews in first grade. She used to bring me in the back room. Can you imagine fucking taking a kid in the back room now? Fucking you have Fox in your school, like taking, She takes me in the back room. It's kind of like going to like a Mission Impossible torture chamber. She lays out three things. I've got a ruler, I've got castor oil, and I've got soap. Now I said dam. We're learning about the Hoover Dam. Mrs. Matthews is like, Mr. Thomas, you said dam. I said, we're talking about the fucking Hoover Dam. I didn't say you had saggy tits. Mrs. Matthews didn't appreciate that. So we get back there. She gives me a choice, the ruler. Mrs. Matthews strong. I'm not going to let her wrap my knuckles. She says, castor oil. I don't know what the fuck castor oil is, so there's no fucking chance she's putting that in my mouth. Can you imagine fucking that? Castor oil? You get fired for that shit today. I tried. So then the soap. She gives me the fucking soap, and fucking, I hope Mrs. Matthews is dead because it sucked. It sucked. Absolutely sucked. So prior to being an elementary school assistant principal, I was a middle school principal. And the way that happened was 3 days before school started, my principal left. So they needed to fill the position. So they're like, Mr. Thomas, will you be the interim principal of our middle school? And foolishly, I said yes. The 6 months I was the principal of this middle school, we had 2 fires in the bathroom. I legit, not kidding, had Secret Service come to my school because I had kids that were counterfeiting money in the cafeteria. We're talking fucking 6th graders. They work for Trump now. That's not a lie. And then I had this guy who I had to hire. He filled my position as the assistant principal. He was an older gentleman, and I had to fire his ass because he didn't know how to use a computer, and he had the students putting in their own discipline, which you can only fucking imagine how that looked. So after 6 months, they came up to me. They said, Mr. Thomas, you've dealt with a lot. How would you like to be the principal? Fuck yeah, let's do it. So I became principal. My first day as principal of this elementary school, we had a kid in 7th grade. He was selling his dad's lube. Einstein thought it was chapstick. Did I also mention he was selling his dad's 4 pounds of weed? Yeah, because that was the thing. So we had to have Dad come in and meet with us, and I was the principal, so in case we suspended him, Dad had to be able to appeal the suspension. So I was the appeal. So in my conference room, I had my two assistant principals, I had my school resource officer, and I had Dad. Now, Dad has his arms around the fucking weed like there's a chance in fucking hell he's getting that back. Meanwhile, he's got 6 bottles of cherry lube on the desk next to him. Now, I don't know if you know this, but 6 bottles of lube is excessive. Dad doesn't give a shit about the lube, he just cares about the weed. And unfortunately, we confiscated the weed. So Dad left pissed, but he leaves the weed, leaves the cherry lube. I went into that office afterwards and we debriefed the meeting to kind of find out what happened. And I can honestly say my first day as principal of that middle school, I was high as fuck. Which is probably why I am not the principal of that middle school anymore. So I told this joke recently at a country club, and in the middle of the audience was an older couple. I referred to them as Thurston Howell and Lovey, and I got heckled for the first time ever. Now, I don't know if that's a Gilligan's Island reference for all you young folks out there. Anyways, Mrs. Howell, like, heckles me. She's like, "What's cherry lube?" I thought she was fucking with me, so I looked at her husband, who was probably 85, and said, "Good for you, she's still moist." Oh, she got pissed. She got pissed. She could have bought and sold me, sir. So she goes, "You're the educator, educate us." So I'm like, "Okay, ma'am. Have you ever seen the movie The Wizard of Oz?" She says, "Yes." I said, "She was probably at the filming." Anyways, I said, "Imagine your vagina is the Tin Man, and the cherry lube is the oil." Cherry lube, cherry lube. Oh, no, so now she gets pissed. I've really upset Mrs. Howell. She goes, "I bet you took the weed." I go, "Took the weed?" I go, "Fuck that. I took the cherry lube. We're on our 5th bottle. Mwah, delicioso." My name's Greg Thomas. Thank you so much for your time.